Brian is with us today here on WQJZ. He has a very interesting story and situation that he's going through in his life that I just want to share with our listeners today because it's a situation that's going on with many, many people in Rutherford County and all over our country, as a matter of fact. Brian, thank you for being with us.
No problem at all.
Brian is someone that I met last week, and he's going through a special program here in our community. They have some counselors there that work with both the person who is looking for a job and for someone who is an employer in the community to make sure that communication is clear and complete so that when someone has come through a situation, the employer can see that they're involved in a program that is helping them to facilitate the process. And it also helps the employer to understand more about the prospective employee, the situation that they're in and what they've gone through, so that they have a better connection when they're just trying to get a job and make some progress in their life. Now, Brian, you've had some experience that are perhaps a little more unusual than most people. Can you share some of your story with us?
So I've been pretty much everywhere from Tennessee to New York to California, Washington State to Texas, just running for myself, really. And everywhere I went, there I was. The more I ran, the more I realized that I was just looking for home. Been addicted to drugs and alcohol since I was 12 years old. In and out of the system. Another 6 months and I would have probably been out more in freedom than I have in jail, but I've spent most of my life in prison and even the juvenile penitentiary system, something that sadly after a while you get used to, and it's just the norm. I used to tell people in jail, I'd say, you're just here visiting. I live here. Y'all go to jail every once in a while. I get out of jail every once in a while. After living a life like that, giving your life up to drugs in the streets and just selling drugs and all the fabricated relationships and everything that's just so fake, you end up standing there alone and have given everything you've ever cared about and anyone you've ever cared about to something that completely does not love you back.
You started out with a family, I'm sure, a mom and dad, or maybe some brothers and sisters.
So I was a single parent family. Grew up in the lower income part of the neighborhood, but actually is kind of a different situation. My dad's a 101st born Vietnam vet, and he actually raised me and my brothers and sisters by himself, which wasn't the norm there. Usually it was single mothers and no fathers. And growing up there, we didn't have much. We wanted more than we had, and the first thing we can come to make money was drugs.
Would you say that your father taking care of you and your siblings was doing the best that he could?
My dad is the epitome of integrity. You leave a light on in the bathroom and he 10 push-ups. I mean, he was strict.
Was he a Marine?
No, he was in the Army.
101st Airborne, military background, and probably expected a lot from you kids.
And he did, he did. I'm actually the youngest of 12, so by the time he got to me, he was probably a little tired.
So you left home then at what, age 10 or 11, 12?
I left home at 13, went to prison until I was 18.
Okay.
Ended up getting into drugs and alcohol really bad, hanging out with the wrong crowd, moved into a house, and a cop moved in next door to me, ended up burning his house down, went to prison until I was 18 and got out for that. After being in prison that long as a juvenile, I was known. A lot of people knew about me, knew who I was, so I took the opportunity to start selling drugs. I'd have warrants here, so I'd run to Florida. I'd get warrants in Florida, I'd run to New York. I'd get warrants in New York, I'd run to California, so on and so forth. Until I went full circle, and I'm just like, being in prison that long, you read a lot. Well, I did anyways. And I actually tried to say, hey, look, I'm not going to sit here and just twiddle my thumbs and come out the same way I came in. I'm going to do something about this.
Well, that was my next question. Where and when did you feel like that a change was occurring within you that you wanted to do something different and maybe try some different things in your life?
My dad raised us right, okay? He taught us the really good values, good religious values. So it was no fault of his. It was just me. He had a stroke while I was in prison. He was driving for Uber and had a stroke while he was driving on the interstate and got in a wreck, almost died. I was in prison. Now he's physically disabled to the point to where his left side's kind of slump a little bit, and he has a lot of issues. I beat myself up so bad for not being there for him and not being able to be there for him after that I was just like, okay, if I get the opportunity to get out of here while he's still alive, I'm going to turn this around. I got out and got into the recovery community. Didn't realize that it was such a tight-knit family. People that actually wanted to be around you for you. They had your best interests at heart, and all they cared about was that you're okay. And I've never had that before. Usually if somebody's around me, it's because I got dope or money. That's it. To actually have a real relationship for once and it not be fabricated on something that I have felt great. It felt like I actually had people around me again that loved me, which I haven't had because I've gave it all up for drugs.
Are you able to talk to your dad now?
Yeah, I talked to him. Since I've been out of jail, I've been out of jail almost 2 years, and I've seen him every Saturday and Sunday since I've been out.
What program do you feel like, there may be several programs that are helping you, which one do you feel like is the most effective for you?
So I'm in mental health / drug court.
Good.
I've been in and out of MRT programs. I've been in and out of paroles, probations, community corrections. If there's a probation, I've been on it. This is the only program I've ever been on in any state I've been in the country that their people are just passionate.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Know? When somebody is there for a paycheck, you know that. And if they're not putting anything into it, I'm not going to put anything into it.
Well, yeah.
But it's like everyone there, not just one person, everyone there is putting everything into it. And that just made me want to put everything into it too. And, truth be told, they saved my life. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I've got certified as a peer support specialist. I made a decision that the sobriety community isn't just where I want to be when I get out at first. It's where I want to stay for the rest of my life.
So tell me more about that moral recognition therapy, and that you are now a college student as well?
Yes, I'm getting my bachelor's degree in psychology and criminal justice, and I've got certified as a peer support specialist so I can get my LADAC, my licensed alcohol and drug counselor, going. What I want to end up doing is I want to end up going back into the prisons and teaching the MRT class with some passion.
That's the moral recognition therapy class. Can you tell me a little more about what that is?
So I've been through a lot of MRT classes. I've probably been through about 7. I had one teacher that was just passionate about it. And for me, that fuels whether what you're teaching, they're going to take seriously or not. Okay. And what MRT does is it breaks down from when you're a baby to how you think, why you think like that, why you manipulate, that it's natural to manipulate from a baby.
Sure.
It even talks about babies. You cry and you get a bottle. So now you know that when you're hungry and you cry, you'll get a bottle. And it breaks it down like systematically on how your brain develops and how we're trapped in this box. It helps you climb out of the box. And I truly think that if a teacher puts passion into it and really cares about what they're doing, that it can really turn a lot of people's lives around.
How do you feel that your life is different now since you've been involved in this and been clean and sober for 2 years?
I've never been clean this long since I was 12 years old. I'm going to college, been certified, and every day I used to look at my future and not like what I saw. I'm either in jail or I'm on the run. There's no difference. I'm either in jail or I'm waiting to get put in jail. So every time I look at my future, I'm like, well, I'm either about to go to jail or I'm about to get chased by the police or I'm about to get shot at or whatever. There's just never been no help there, no motivation, no reason to get up the next day. And now, I found a reason to live. They gave me a reason to live. They gave me a reason to love myself enough to find my higher power. And now I have a baby on the way. I have 4.5 months. I got my own place. It blows me away. I never thought that I'd have the opportunity to have that again. Never thought that I deserved the opportunity to have that again.
So you feel like you have some peer support around you in addition to...
Oh, for sure. 100%.
That's great. So what is your life now? Do you go to a meeting every day, or how does that work?
So I've been managing 4 halfway houses in Rutherford County. It's called Sunrise Sober Living. And when I got out, I put myself in a halfway house. I wasn't court ordered. I just put myself there because I was like, this is where I need to be. I need to be around other guys that are trying to do the same thing I'm doing. And after being there for a few months, the house manager left and the owner said I would be a good fit. And then I started managing that one and then started managing 3 other ones. And it evolved from there.
You have other recovering people that you're monitoring and helping to take care of.
And giving drug tests to and making sure that holding them accountable. And
that's great. Brian, I am so grateful for the opportunity to talk with you. You have poured yourself out, and I do appreciate that.
No problem.
And I'm so proud of you to hear that you're staying with the program and that you have a partner and have a baby on the way and a place to live. What more can be said about that except it's always up. You have something to look forward to. Tell me the name of the program again that you're with.
I'm in mental health / drug court.
And that is run by who?
The Recovery Court
of Rutherford County.
Yes, sir.
So if people wanted to find out more information about the Recovery Court or how they might find a place there for a loved one that they care about, how would they do that, Brian?
Go up there. You don't have to even call them. Go up there and face to face. If you have a loved one that really needs help and that you think that would actually try to help themselves, go up there and talk to them. They'll really open your eyes to a lot.
And you say it's on Academy Street?
It's 525 North University Street, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 37130. Their phone number is 615-217-7124.
And that's Recovery Court of Rutherford County.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brian, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us about this. All the best of luck to you. And if you'd like to talk with us again at some point in the future and let us know how things are going, we'd love to have you back again.
Oh, for sure. I will. Thank you so much.